Say you wanted to start your own business. Then you notice an existing business for sale. It has financial statements which you can inspect before buying. This lets you see how the company performed historically before making any decisions. Would you consider buying an existing business? This is no different than the share market. There are a lot of questions that need to be asked before you purchase an existing business. That's what this book gets into. It considers listed companies and uses the value approach. It examines in a way that you would hold forever, not in hope that someone will pay a higher price than what you did. Instead, you invest for a return. Would you invest for any other reason? I enjoyed this book for a couple of reasons. To start with, it gives you a model. The model lays out the steps on not only what to do, but what not to do. Each step is broken down, telling you what to look for and where to look, and it gives real examples. If accounting is your thing, then the section on past performance will be beneficial. It works out if the company has been historically good. If it's not something you are experienced in, then this book is a great place to commence your apprenticeship. It may be a little difficult for beginners to catch onto some of the accounting points in this book, but don't give up. I recommend continuing on with the book and revising the accounting afterwards. Future performance doesn't rely on numbers, it relies on customers and suppliers. This moves into the idea of breadth analysis. It asks a couple of questions that every investor should be asking. The first is, how broad is the customer base? Then, how broad is the supplier base? If you rely on one single entity for more than 10% of your business, your returns may be at risk. The next idea is forces analysis, which explains how to examine the force put on a company from customers, suppliers, substitutes, and new entrants. For example, a force could be the bargaining power of your customers or suppliers, depending on how broad or concentrated they may be. Next is moat identification. A moat is basically the protection from other companies. This is broken down so you know how to identify a moat from 6 different sources. Next is market growth and what to look for. At hand are 4 areas to help give a better picture of future performance. It practices a qualitative approach rather than projecting a bunch of made-up numbers into the future. You start to gain an idea on whether to quit or keep pushing on. So then it comes down to shareholder friendliness. This section goes into great detail, which will form a checklist. Would you rather a company benefit you, the owner, or someone else? He finishes the chapter with the quote that I liked, "Do I want to be in business with these people?" Valuation is purposely left until after you determine the company is good and shareholder friendly, or reasons that you'll discover. The valuation methods used are quite simple and not reliant on one figure alone. If the company you're considering has made it this far, then you need to carry yourself onto the most important section of the book, in my opinion. This is the part on misjudgment and misaction. The first level of the model told us what we need to know what to do. But this section tells you how to do it and don't do anything else. It's the hardest step of the whole model. I think this section on psychology is important and well detailed. I believe anyone can gain knowledge from this section regardless of experience level, an understanding instead of an opinion. Just a couple of the many things I gained from this book. Bargains may not be bargains. Don't make excuses for companies that don't meet your criteria. Define if a company made an acceptable return and continue to do so. Invest with the plan to keep forever so you make better decisions. Invest for returns. Don't buy hoping someone will pay a higher price than you did. And don't make choices born of cognitive biases. The case studies help once you begin your own analysis. I couldn't give this book the recognition it deserves. It definitely helped me with my investments. It also is a great reference tool.